call it the G5, the first choice in air travel for many of the richest and most powerful people in the world. Join us as we go behind closed doors of Gulfstream Aerospace, the company that has created what may be the most sophisticated and luxurious aircraft in the sky.
In the elite world of private aircraft, Gulfstream jets are considered to be the top of the line, and the G5 is their top of the line. Price tag, $43 million. Traveling at nearly the speed of sound, it cruises at 51,000 feet, high above commercial air traffic. It can fly from New York to Tokyo in less than 13 and a half hours on one tank of gas. The quiet city of Savannah, Georgia, is home to Gulfstream's 1.3 million square foot production facility. I went behind closed doors to see what goes into making these high-priced private jets. But first, I wanted to experience flying on a G5 to see exactly what $43 million can buy. President and COO Bill Boyster accompanied me on my flight.
There's first class and there's this.
There's this. Yeah, this is a big difference.
The jets are almost the size of a 737. The Gulfstream seats up to 19. The 737 seats 102. Private jets are nothing like their commercial counterparts.
It's incredibly quiet.
The whole outfitting is designed to provide this environment, the quiet environment. I mean, you've just been through the noisiest portion of the flight, which is always takeoff. And you and I conversed all the way through it.
It's like this luxurious little cocoon.
Yep.
With more than 1,600 square feet, it's bigger than many houses. The 50-foot-long cabin can be a flying office or a home away from home.
Ah, we had a great ride.
These jets are a part of a world of power and privilege few of us will ever see. On board, behind closed doors, multi-million-dollar deals are signed and classified military missions are planned. The U.S. government uses Gulfstream jets, and so do other countries around the globe. Bill Boyster is a former Air Force pilot with decades of experience in the business jet industry.
So who is a typical Gulfstream customer?
Well, a typical customer is actually a large multinational private or public company, or 33 governments around the world own our airplane, and wealthy private individuals.
9 out of 10 of the top Fortune 500 companies have a Gulfstream. And celebrity G5 owners include Jim Carrey, Tom Cruise, and John Travolta. But it's not only the rich and famous. Military officials, cabinet members like Colin Powell, and even heads of state use G5s.
It's the Air Force One for many countries. And in fact, given the mission might be to a small airport or for a specific reason, our president could fly in this airplane. The diplomatic missions that are going on right now in the world with respect to the Middle East and terrorism and so forth, many of the leaders of our nation are flying on the C-37A, which is the U.S. Air Force version of the Gulfstream 5. When you need to go Washington, Dubai nonstop, you can do it in the G5.
These ultra-long-range jets can stay in the air for 14 hours at a time. They're small enough to land where large commercial jets can't, but they're big enough to accommodate special gear such as electronic surveillance equipment. That's why they're used for special military missions. The government buys the basic plane and then modifies it with whatever they want. For Gulfstream's exclusive clientele, private jets not only offer comfort, but security. They have the peace of mind of knowing exactly who is on board the plane. And that's just the beginning. The jets can come equipped with a very unusual option, a jamming device for anti-aircraft missiles, which is built into the tail cone of the plane.
We have an infrared countermeasure system that can be put on the airplane. And for certain customers, the late King Hussein told me one day, he said, "Bill, I don't live in a nice neighborhood." And so he was concerned about things like that, and justifiably so.
And they need to be able to protect themselves.
And we need to help them protect themselves.
Behind these doors, a team of researchers work to develop Gulfstream's cutting-edge technology. On the production floor, that technology is combined with old-fashioned craftsmanship. These jets are built by hand.
How long does it take from start to finish to make one of these?
It's about 75 days from start until we fly and certify the airplane in the state that you see it in right now.
Now that's with no interior.
That's with no interiors, that's correct.
In the completion center, the green primer coat is painted over and the interior is installed. Each surface is painstakingly prepared and every part carefully fitted. From the carpet to the crystal, everything is customized to fit the client's taste and lifestyle.
That area we try to keep.
Designer Don Jensen showed me what's considered standard equipment. 24-karat gold fixtures, calfskin imported from Italy, and rare wood from around the world are all included in the purchase price. Even the bathrooms are designer chic. There's a gourmet kitchen complete with Baccarat crystal, Limoges china, and Christoph silverware. But the sky's not always the limit. Sometimes they have to draw the line.
So I had a customer ask for a tanning bed once we had to say no to. But
You had to say no to that.
yeah, we rarely have to say no, but it has to meet all of the FAA requirements.
As opulent as these jets are, the company prefers to see them as tools that help the rich and powerful make the most of their most precious commodity.
What's your favorite luxury on board?
Actually, it's time. You make the maximum use of every day. Time's the most precious thing we have. So this is a luxury to use time this way.
When we come back, I find out what it's like to fly a G5
You see your bank angle here showing your nose.
as I take the controls.
That's 30 degrees right there.
Behind Closed Doors will continue in a moment here on A&E. Behind Closed Doors with Joan Lunden continues here on A&E.
Long lines, security checks, canceled flights and crowds. This is air travel for most of us. But for those who can afford a multi-million-dollar Gulfstream jet, flying is an entirely different experience.
The big differences are you're in control of your environment. You leave when you want to leave, and you arrive where you want to arrive, and you travel with the people you want to travel with.
You don't even have to have your seat in the upright position as you're landing, do you?
Well, there's certain things we like to have people do aboard the airplane to make sure that they are safe and secure, but yeah, you get to determine quite a few things that go aboard your airplane.
It's your plane, so you can smoke if you want to. There's no charge for headsets, and you can sleep in total comfort. Traveling by private jet is completely different, and so is flying one.
When you are a pilot for a private jet, you're on call all the time because your life has to kind of duplicate the CEO that you fly for, right?
That lifestyle is a lot different than a scheduled lifestyle that you'd have working for an airline. First thing is it's not boring. You get to interact with a very interesting clientele of people.
And you get to fly this kind of
And you get to
aircraft.
fly this leading edge technology. And we have technology that the airlines won't see for 10 years. The people that own these airplanes don't mind paying to have that technology.
Gulfstream's new enhanced vision system is one of those breakthroughs.
We can see through weather and we can see at night.
So this is almost like night vision kind of
Night
a thing.
vision,
So
exactly.
when the rest of us are looking out the window and we see nothing, you can see through it and see that runway.
We're seeing the runway, you're seeing the mountains, you can see the deer on the side of the runway, all that.
Like Randy Gaston, many pilots have military backgrounds, others have worked for commercial airlines. Although most corporate pilots generally don't make quite as much as their commercial counterparts, they can make close to six figures, and their jobs are anything but routine.
The destination is always unknown until you've got notification to say this is where we're going. There's a different preparation period for that, so you're going to be doing a lot of your own homework. Nobody else is doing it for you.
Flight attendants also have added responsibility, since there is usually only one on board. They take care of fewer passengers than on commercial flights, but they do much more than pass out peanuts.
Everything's really up to her. It's her show, her dinner party. She does fruit, lots of wonderful food. Menus are printed. It's so far removed from commercial flying you wouldn't believe.
A flight attendant on a private jet also has to know the value of discretion.
We don't ever talk about what happens on the airplane because private airplane means exactly that. Anything you see or hear, you never heard it, you never saw it.
But they have to know a lot more than just protocol. Gulfstream crews can train at Flight Safety International, next door to Gulfstream headquarters.
Do not inflate your bed inside the cabin. Do not inflate
commercial or private, all flight crews have to be prepared to handle any disaster. Full-size mock-ups of Gulfstream jets, complete with motion, smoke, and water, make evacuation training exercises as realistic as possible. Down the hall, simulators put pilots through a rigorous program without leaving the ground. Every G5 pilot must be specially trained and certified every year. Gulfstream agreed to let me sit in the pilot seat and take controls of one of their jets. But before I could go behind those closed doors, I had to go behind these. Inside is an exact working replica of a G5 cockpit. In here, they can simulate just about any situation you'd encounter on a real flight.
Okay, we have clearance to taxi out on the runway.
Okay, we're moving.
We're moving.
We took off from San Francisco International Airport and headed toward the Golden Gate Bridge.
Just like driving your car, except you've got one more dimension. You've got altitude to worry about. And just go ahead and push over a little bit. Now see the span? Just try to go down there between it.
You're kidding me.
No.
We're going to do this?
Yeah, sure. The one good thing about the simulator, you can't hurt yourself.
The simulator lets pilots practice landing at almost any airport in the world.
So if your corporate boss says, I want you to take me to China, or to Dubai, wherever,
That's
you
right.
can come in
We
here.
can come in the simulator. We can go ahead and practice that. We can go through all the procedures. We can go. Actually, they can go through all the radio calls, everything.
With a little help, I took it in for a landing.
All right, good, perfect. I think we.
Did I do okay?
You did great.
Everybody in back would be okay?
All the passengers are alive.
Yeah?
So far, so good, but the simulator was only about 10 feet off the ground. Next, I'd be flying at 51,000 feet. Waiting for me on the tarmac was a G5. Now it was time for me to experience flying one of these jets. The pilots handled the takeoff. I waited to take the controls after the plane was at cruising altitude. I had one pilot sitting next to me and another watching my every move.
Because that's, no, wait, which way do I need to go?
Well,
you
now
guys?
you can go ahead, wings level, turn to the right. See your bank angle here showing your right.
There was so much to keep track of. At 9.5 miles high, I had to keep my wings straight and watch my speed. My palms were sweating.
And see how the pointer's going in there?
Whoa.
That's 30 degrees right there.
Okay.
Then we just pull back a little bit.
Under the careful supervision of the pilots, I cautiously banked the plane.
There you go, your little sky pointer back.
There we go, okay.
All right, good.
The screen revealed all of my maneuvers. Admittedly, I didn't take the most direct route.
You're flying.
This is amazing. I gotta tell you.
Piloting the G5 was difficult, but I was beginning to get a feel for the plane. I relaxed a little and started to enjoy it. Back on the ground, I was still on an adrenaline high.
You were very relaxed.
I was intense, I was focused, because you're trying to look out of the front of the plane, but you're also watching your altitude, trying to keep your wings straight. There's a lot of stuff to, and then you guys have to talk to the ground at the same time.
That's right. You have to talk and fly at the same time. Sometimes that might be a little much, but we thought you did an outstanding job.
If you're tired of hassles, lines, and crowds, and just happen to have a spare $43 million, Gulfstream has the jet for you.